Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dejan Lekic. I'm going to present a story about National Ecological Association. We are grassroots professional organization, something completely new. The youngest person engaged in this organization is sitting in front of you. So I'm 57. I'm 57, and fortunately, I was working with the European Environment Agency as a national focal point for 15 years, and now I'm a grassroots NGO, so which means a lot, I suppose. We are focusing at all three levels of activities that were mentioned just before a few minutes. So the concept of data collection, of course, we at the beginning 2 years ago when we started, we thought that we are going to focus on all the topics in the field of environmental protection, but then air quality emerged by itself. We heard a lot of speakers today saying that the air quality problem is one of the main problems in Serbia and in the region. So we also did the same. And we have developed a platform called XECO, Extreme Ecology, that is used to develop applications, web applications and mobile phone applications that are actually presenting the data on air quality and different kind of data to the public. Very similar to what Mr. Kozma said today, but fortunately, our funding was for development of these applications was exactly zero, and hopefully when you type in Serbian air Serbia today on Google or Bing, our application appears at the first place. Imagine that. So it is just a small success of our work, but then that's about the data monitoring and collection. We have in our system, we have at this moment more than any other application currently available on the internet. We have more than 460 stations with the data. Of course, not all of these data are officially approved, meaning that they are not coming from the calibrated, etc. stations. Only 70 of them exist in Serbia within the state network, and the rest is so-called citizen science network. The second question, communication and the relation to the public. We have, during these 2 years, having in mind that members of our scientific committee are more or less all of them are either current professors at the university or retired professors from the university. So we have very good communication with the media, even the large media, because these people have impressive careers, and something that is behind them is good enough to let the people from media ask them for their opinion on different topics, and that is something that we also see as our success, because we have managed to reach almost all the media. The TV stations, even the radio stations. The maximum level was reached last Monday, when at the same day the data from the platform XECO appeared. You will not believe this, but appeared in major daily newspapers, state media, Sputnik, and Euronews at the same time. Meaning that I think that is the only information available at all the sites of currently divided Europe at the moment, unfortunately. That's about the communication, and now about the public relations and the media. And finally, I will just conclude with the policy impact, with the one I would say joke. How do you expect that NGOs and CSO will have an impact on policy making if European Union cannot have it? So we have the situation where in the accession process for 10 years, we have exactly the same wording of the chapter 27 of Serbian progress report. There is no change. The report on Serbian accession process for 10 years is the same. You have the same words repeated again and again, saying, okay, you have transposed the legislation, but at the level of implementation, more or less there is nothing. So if the NGOs are repeating the same thing, they will have the same impact on the real policy implementation as the European Union, which is good enough. I mean, you cannot expect that an NGO with very small amount of money available can have, or even a group of NGOs, or even all the NGOs together can have more impact on the policy making process and policy implementation, which is more important than the EU itself. And that's something that we should discuss, and we should see how to solve this problem, because we heard today that and it was a very interesting discussion just during the session before this one about the real success of the anti-lithium protests in Serbia. Imagine we are protesting about something that might happen. And during the last 10 years, hopefully, I mean, unfortunately, I know that during the last 10 years, all the state official, non-official reports are saying that the air quality in Serbia is catastrophic, more or less. And nobody's protesting about that. So we are not protesting about something that is happening, that already happened, but we are making a huge protest about something that might happen. Of course, I am not against any kind of, I'm not giving my personal opinion on that. I'm just making, I'm just saying what is going on. The same thing, imagine that the country in which the two major cities on the Danube River have wastewater treatment of 0%. So Belgrade and Novi Sad, the only two big cities at the Danube River, they have 0% of wastewater treatment. Just compare that to Budapest or Bratislava, or not to mention Vienna. And again, we are against something that might happen in the future, and we are doing nothing about what is already a problem. I will not mention cities of Bor or city of Smederevo. Mr. Nikola Krstić is absent today. He could speak about that if he's here. So that's really some kind of, I will say, misunderstanding of the situation, because people are not reading the reports, people are not reading already existing analysis. These analyses are showing that we are having a huge problem with some environmental topics, not all of them, of course. I'm not saying that everything is a catastrophe. We have to be more optimistic, but in order to be more optimistic, we have to work more. We are all day long, 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, whole year. We are hearing a lot of people who are having great ideas, but when we come to the level of implementation, usually it disappears. It is the same with the environmental protests. One day we hear big ideas, and then the next day it disappears. And it is the same as the EU implementation, acquis. One day you will hear a minister or NGO representative saying, we are at the path towards the European Union. And yesterday I read a tweet from a very high position official before. He said back in 2008, it was estimated that Serbia will be ready to join the European Union in 5 years. So 2008 in 5, that is 2013. Now, in 15 years, we are going to be ready to join +5. So in 20 years. Why? Because we spoke about very, very big concepts and we said very big words to the public, and at the level of working, at the level of hard work, at the level of focusing, at the level of continuity, we did exactly nothing. And I can sign at the bottom of this paper. Thank you very much. Concerning the data, we are not collecting data on different things than the environment itself. In this particular case on air quality, yes, the situation is getting a little bit better from year to year, like in Zenica, but it is not getting better enough. That's the problem. It is still the limits are exceeded, etc. In almost all the places in Serbia, when speaking about Serbia. And I just wanted to conclude something that came to my mind after listening to my colleagues. You see, because I also have two heads and two heads, both of them. Since I was working as a civil servant for more than almost 30 years. We are all saying, okay, we are pushing the public is pushing the government, then we are changing the law, we are reaching the media, and then the law is there and there is a strategy. And then there has to be some people in the governmental bodies who are going to implement these things. And I'm going to tell you the secret. These people do not exist. There is no more. 20 years ago, there were some people. But nowadays, I know the situation in Macedonia. I know the situation in Bosnia less than in Macedonia. I know the situation in Montenegro, in Serbia as well. So these people do not exist. You can pass the law, you can pass the strategy, you can have a media coverage, you can have 100,000 people on the street, you can do whatever you want. They are going to vote for the law, they are going to adopt the law, they are going to adopt the program, they are going to adopt the strategy. You're successful. And then implementation. As I said, EU cannot push Balkan countries to do the implementation. How you imagine that we are going to push them? Why is it? Even if they want to do it, they cannot do it. Because the capacity of the governmental bodies disappeared during the last 20 years. It disappeared physically. People got retired. New people did not have the same capacity, or for some unbelievably simple reason that I'm not going to say, the new people were not ready to learn to be part of the team. They were expecting results tomorrow morning. The life is not about tomorrow morning. The life is about the life. Tomorrow, nobody of us will be rich tomorrow morning. Nobody of us will be something different tomorrow morning. And one day, if we manage to understand this, that nothing will happen tomorrow morning, except that we are going to wake up in another day, we are going to do things in a better way. Thank you.